Hey guys, you know what's embarrassing? Having to hang out with these guys every week.
Welcome back to the Words of Heart podcast, guys. With me, as always, is Mike and Greg.
Hey, baby.
And today,
Oh dear.
How you doing?
and today we're talking about embarrassing moments.
You embarrassed
Mike should be
yet?
embarrassed.
Are you embarrassed yet, baby?
You should be.
That was fucking beautiful.
Every time you look in the mirror, you should be embarrassed.
Dude, I don't get embarrassed at all. Fuck that.
And that's the thing. I mean, I kind of have no shame, and it's become a bit of
It's
a
apparent.
problem.
It's
It's
become
apparent.
a bit of a problem. It's not the parents. It's his own fault.
No.
I mean, I think part of it
Genetic.
might be my parents' problem. You know, they've conditioned me. Like at this point, like
Did they at least shampoo first? God, I'm so on today.
And by on, you mean off?
I'm not embarrassed.
You're not embarrassed at all.
Yeah.
Excuse me, like what are a few things that like your parents may have done as a kid that like were embarrassing? Like,
So I grew up, and my mom watches the show, so she's gonna love this. But
Hi, Mike's mom.
I grew up as Manzi Poopy Pie. So I mean, and I didn't really give a shit. I own that name. I
how
don't know.
how did that come about?
Wait, what?
What? I don't know. My mom just fucking says it.
Nancy Poopy Pie?
Manzi
Manzi
Poopy
Poopy
Pie.
Pie.
Manzi Poopy. I'm gonna call you that.
And,
from
and I
now
don't
on.
care. And she'll do it to like deliberately try to embarrass me. It just doesn't bother me.
It
Like,
doesn't
I
bother you
just like
anymore.
nothing. Like I don't care. I get embarrassed over if I do things that can be, I guess, sort of misconstrued. So
You don't think being
when-
called Manzi Poopy Pie could be misconstrued?
No, I think that it's just.
I think she called you Manzi Poopy Pie because you pooped your pants all the time.
Oh God,
No.
where did that come from?
Yeah. In fact, I pooped my pie all the
You
time.
pooped your
What?
pie.
Anyway, no, probably one of the only things that can come to mind about being embarrassed was when I was first dating my wife back in high school. It was in the middle of winter. We got in the car, and it was all covered in ice. And I grabbed the ice scraper. I was going to go clear the car off. And she's like, no, I got it. And I was like, no, I have it. And I was holding onto the ice scraper, and she's trying to pull it away from me. So we're wrestling it back and forth, like fighting over me trying to be this gentleman. And it slipped out of my hands, and the ice scraper end of it smoked her right in the fucking face.
Oh, man.
That was pretty embarrassing. I mean, like when you're in high school and you're trying to date somebody and you're trying to, trying to impress them and trying to be this gentleman, and I end up fucking smashing her in the face with an ice cream.
And she's still stuck with you.
Yeah.
So your most embarrassing moment is domestic violence. Greg, what's your most most embarrassing moment?
Yeah, I can't say it's domestic violence. I honestly don't remember because I'm kind of like you guys. And
Are you sure? Like I feel.
well,
okay.
let me
do you
back up a
remember
step.
when we went to the mall before you got married?
Okay,
Just
that
out
was
in Moncton?
yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so
Were you
yeah,
embarrassed?
when Mike's following you around the mall, screaming, "But Greg, Mom says you're not supposed to leave me
Okay.
behind."
So
Yeah.
let's give it a little background information. So we're at this mall out in Moncton city, just a couple hours away, give or take. And it's packed. It's super busy. It's crazy busy. And I was there with Greg and a few of his friends, our friends, I guess.
Our friends, yeah.
And all I remember is like I wanted to look at the things I was interested in. I wanted to go check out like some longboarding equipment and stuff like that. Greg wanted to go look at hats and video games. And as much as into video games as I am, I play video games on PC, and because of Steam, I don't need to go into stores for that shit. So I was off doing my own thing, and every time I stopped to look at something, they just kept walking without me. They kept leaving me. So I decided to act like I was very, very special. And
Oh, you're special. all right.
and Greg was supposed to be taking care of me.
Apparently, I wasn't
Yeah.
doing a very good
It
job.
was a
of
whole
it.
lot of Greg, they would leave me, so they would be like 20, 30 feet ahead. There's crowds of people between us, and I'm like, fuck this. And I'm just shouting out, just Greg, Mom said you're not supposed to leave me. And I thought he was gonna fucking leave me there for real.
I think we did at one point. We all took off into a store and didn't tell you where we're going, and then I get a random text from you saying, "Where'd you guys go?"
Yeah. I remember that because I was looking at longboards, and some 12-year-old kid comes up and he's like, "Yeah, those are pretty cool, eh?" I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Do you have any smokes?" And I was like, "Go fuck."
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's the same trip where we got asked for smokes by the.
Yeah, because I finally caught back up with Greg, and I was acting special, and then the same kid walked up. Yeah. And I got to. I was this close, like. And you know what? I wouldn't have kept doing it if Greg wasn't so embarrassed. And like I was this close to throwing myself on the floor.
I wish it was more socially socially acceptable to be able to do that in public. You know.
See that, and that's what it was more so than embarrassment. It was the fact that it was blatantly obvious that you were playing it up, that you weren't really like that. And it wasn't so much as I was embarrassed as I didn't want to be associated with that.
Mike does a pretty good spastic.
Yeah, but when he was switching back
I'm an
and
honorary
forth,
member of the Crayon Crew.
when switching back and forth from Crayon Crew to normal Mike, and the same people are within earshot of it, it's pretty obvious that he's playing it up.
I was like, if I do this, then Greg will stop leaving me. But it made it worse, and I was like, oh my god,
and I almost left you in Moncton.
he doesn't like this. I need to keep going. It's probably cringy, but I mean, fuck it.
So I mean, I've had a few personally embarrassing moments like that. No one else has been around to see, right?
Oh, please tell us.
How do you get embarrassed with nobody else around?
Like just okay, like
I understand shit. There's a difference between being embarrassed and having shame.
He took his pants off and looked in the mirror.
so I mean, like there's like maybe. So there's like strangers like probably saw what happened, right? So like perfect. One of the better examples that I have is that. What are you going on about?
I'm trying to figure out the situation in my head, and I'm like everything that comes to mind is like whoa.
Like something like really
it can't be that.
something really dumb that happened to me just a couple days ago. I was I had to drive to work. I was an hour away from home, and I hit this pothole, and instantly as soon as I hit it, I know my car. I'm like, as soon as I hit that, I'm like, that dented the rim. That totally dented the rim. I felt it.
Yeah, your car's this close to falling apart anyway.
It really is
so.
at this point.
What are you talking about? It has fallen apart. He has paid the equivalent of a new used car
to put his back together again. It's like the Humpty Dumpty of cars.
No, it is the $6 million man, except they fucked up.
So it's like the $6 man.
$6,000 man, the Pontiac G6 man.
That's fair.
That's your story.
So like, I end up hitting this pothole. I'm like, okay, that dent to the rim, no doubt. And of course, the electronic tire pressure meter tells me, hey, check your tire pressure. I'm like, fuck me. So I made it to a gas station, luckily enough, and I get out, and sure enough, it's bent pretty bad. I'm like, okay, I need to bend this rim back into place, then find an air compressor so that I can get this done. So I look in the trunk. I have a hammer. Great. So I start wailing away at the hammer. Everything's fine.
You should have probably hit the rim.
Yeah, that might have helped.
That's wailing away with the hammer.
Just swinging around in the air.
And so it's
why isn't this working?
It's almost to the point where it's not going to leak anymore. And I go one more big whack. The hammer. Not only does the hammer snap in two, but the hammer head itself smacks me in the face.
Oh.
And so like it didn't hurt. It was just like smack. And I like.
Hot shame.
And so I stand up. And I'm holding this like hammer handle.
Yeah.
And I look around, and there's one person pumping their gas, staring right at me. And I look at them, and I pick up the other end of the hammer, and I'm just laughing to myself. But I'm like, someone else just literally watched me smack myself in the face with a hammerhead.
Yeah.
So like, there's something dumb like that.
The thing is that I think that cars were put on this earth to embarrass us and to piss us off. I mean, if
Alex certainly does.
Okay, we've all been here before. I get pissed off at these people. You're driving through an intersection. You get to the other side of the intersection, and the traffic's backed up. And you are now sitting in the middle of the intersection. And then the light changes.
I hate being those people.
And you're blocking traffic. And then you look out your window at the traffic that's waiting for you to stop being an idiot.
And you're like...
And get out of the way.
You're like, hey. And they're just sitting there fuming. That's embarrassing.
See,
But I mean, so when you get into embarrassing situations... I feel like 90% of them are in your car.
See, when I avoid that situation because when I come to a stoplight, I kind of slack off a bit and let the other car make sure it gets through the light before I try to go through.
Yeah, and I do that too, but you can't
always.
Sometimes
Yeah.
like you've been there before.
No,
Like,
I know.
mean, like,
I
yeah,
agree. Yeah.
It's not fun. But I mean,
Alex is tearing everything down, not just his car.
Yeah.
That was
Embarrassed?
embarrassing.
Yeah. No, I don't get. My wife seemed to think that I did have an embarrassing moment actually today. I wasn't that embarrassed. I was mostly pissed off at how stupid I could be. So the other day,
You must get pissed off at yourself a lot.
so we have these amazing new rock like cookware, like pans.
Okay.
They are just incredible to cook with. Anyway, they can go in the oven after you're cooking, so you can like sear something off and then throw it in the oven to bake, right? And I was like, perfect. So the other day, I wanted to make the perfect like cheeseburger. So like, I had grilled it off, and I was like, I'll finish it off in the oven with some cheese. It'll be perfect. So I take it and I put it into the oven. It's in the oven for probably about 10 or 15 minutes, like 400 degrees. I took it out with an oven mitt. I sat it down on top. I answered a phone call. I came back. I grabbed the handle.
Without the mitt.
Yeah. I grabbed the handle, and immediately, like, all of the pads of my fingers felt like rubber. They were shiny as hell. I had to dunk my hand in cold water for like half an hour. It was extremely painful, but
High five.
it's fine. It's fine now. Anyway, so tonight I was steaming some vegetables. I wanted to keep them warm. I put it into the oven. I took it out. I put it on top. I told my wife, I said, I'm putting the oven mitt next to this so I can remember to use the oven mitt this time so I don't do it again. No more than 2 seconds later, I reached out and grabbed the fucking handle with my right hand.
You did it again.
And burnt myself. And I was like, what in the fuck is wrong with me? And I was just screaming pissed at myself. And like,
We don't have enough time in this show to go over everything that's wrong with you.
if it was anybody but my wife home, I would be embarrassed. Anyway, fast forward 2 minutes after that, after I soaked my hand in cold water, I said, I gotta get these fucking vegetables done, and I grabbed the handle again. Yep.
So that's 3 times
Yep. 3 times.
in one day.
Twice within a 5-minute period.
That's both hysterical and sad. And you made me realize that I think probably the most of the things that are considered embarrassing that I've ever done in my life is just due to my own stupidity. So,
Oh, I can't
question
imagine.
for you guys.
No way.
Have you ever played hot potato?
Like
Yes.
actual hot potato?
Like the game hot potato.
With a hot potato?
That's what I was
No.
getting to. So with okay. So when I was in college, me and my friends decided to have. So when I was in college, I lived off potatoes because I got a liquor fine for having. It was basically possession of alcohol under the age of 19, and I got a pretty substantial liquor fine. So I lived off potatoes and craft.
The fuck does that have to do with potatoes?
So
He had a lot of potatoes to work
basically
with.
that I ate potatoes every day for like 2.
What? But what does that have to do with you getting a liquor fine?
He's trying to set up why he had so many
I was
potatoes.
broke ass. And
Oh, so all you could afford was potato. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, when you get a liquor fine, you don't just have to eat potatoes, bud. You could do
Yeah.
something
No,
else.
It's a new fine that
Yeah.
you get written up and all you can eat is potatoes.
You little bitch.
Yeah, you eat those potatoes.
You're eating nothing but potatoes for
so
a month.
many
you little-
potatoes.
basically, it was a roundabout way of me saying
I'll
something
teach
redundant by saying that I was a broke ass college student.
Okay. You were extra broke.
I was extra
so
broke.
all you had was potatoes.
I was an
got you.
Irishman, basically. Yeah.
I got you.
So I
How many
ate
potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman?
0.
goose egg. Potato famine. So, so we decided to play hot potato in the residence that we were at, and I got this.
My question is, all you can afford was potatoes,
And craft dinner.
but suddenly you can afford to get rid of potatoes.
So
Something doesn't add up, Alex.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
So anyway, so buddy said, "Well, you know what you gotta do first if you're gonna play hot potatoes? You gotta boil it first." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So boil the potato, and
How long did you boil it? Long enough for it to be fork tender?
so basically, here's the thing. Buddy's like, "Here, catch." So he takes it with a scoop thing, and of course it's held together pretty well because of the skin. So he throws a potato at me,
You know what that
and I
means.
grab it, full on and grab into the potato. I don't know if you know.
So you had hot mashed potatoes like between your fingers.
I full on gripped into
At sea level, water boils at 216 degrees Fahrenheit.
400 degrees Celsius.
You should be embarrassed to know that.
I know it because of the commercial.
Back
So
to your potato
I
story.
full on grabbed into a massive potato and tried to throw it at someone. But basically what happened was
It's
I
stuck
grabbed
to
a
your
potato and I went,
So you burnt your hand and flicked mushy potato at somebody's
basically. But like because I grabbed around the potato, like potato went like this way, like in.
My problem is that what people consider embarrassing,
Yeah.
doesn't seem to process to me as embarrassing, because like that doesn't even sound embarrassing to me.
That sounds more painful than embarrassing.
And that's the thing, I guess, is that I mean,
So, but what is that?
that's a question for the audience. Is like, is there something that you guys consider, or that you don't consider embarrassing that should be considered embarrassing in everyday norms?
I mean, okay,
I mean, and we could get meta with that and go into like cultural norms.
okay. Let's
but-
say
Let's
you're-
get metal with it.
Let's say you're at work. All your coworkers there, big meeting. You walk in,
And fire.
your fly's open, your penis is hanging out. Are you embarrassed, or are you just like, ha ha? People will talk about this.
You guys saw my dick.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if someone pointed it out, my very first question out of my mouth would be,
Why were you looking?
at my dick? Well, because it's hanging out, Alex, and you notice that stuff. Would you be embarrassed? I would.
I don't think I would be.
I think that's how far it has to be pushed for me to be embarrassed. I don't think that anything like.
What if your pants fell down around your ankles?
Do I still have my boxers on?
No. Everything down around your ankles.
Yeah, I'd probably be embarrassed.
Okay, you walk into. This has happened.
You walk out of a porta potty and you fall dick first into the dirt.
Okay, and I guess that was the other thing that no one
Why
else.
does that sound familiar?
So
We talked about it in the previous
know,
episode.
So that's something that's happened that no one else saw, I don't think.
You got a dirty dick, Legier.
But now there's hundreds of people that know about it.
Exactly, yeah. That's fine.
We use the term hundreds very loosely.
No, I'm being optimistic that one day hundreds of people will watch this video.
Hopefully thousands.
Yeah, I'm starting with hundreds. We're starting small.
Gotta start small. So, what was I going on about?
How your dick was in the mud because you fell out of a porta
Before
potty.
that.
Mashed potatoes in your hands.
No. You mentioned that my pants come down. in
Yeah,
front of everybody
and
for-
pants,
Right, okay,
boxers,
gotcha.
everything.
So, at the movie theaters here in front.
I draw the line at showing my butthole.
Whoa, okay. So, the movie theaters here in Fredericton have 10 to 15 urinals that are lined up against the wall.
Yes, they do.
Have you ever walked into a bathroom and saw a grown-ass man standing at the urinal with his pants down around his ankles?
Yeah, and then he holds his shirt up like this, and he's pissing.
Okay, have you ever seen that?
Not since elementary school.
When he did
You saw a grown man do it?
No, when the preschool kids would do.
I walked in there, nowhere to lie. 3 men. Of course, they were obeying the rule of not more than one person next to each other, which is fine. But there were 3 grown men, pants all down around their ankles.
I promise you that they were all buddies and they dared each other to do it.
I'm talking like they were like in their 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
They still were probably
Still.
buddies and dared each other to do it.
Which at that point, is it like, do you just not have any shame and nothing really phases you at that point? Is that how that works?
Maybe I would go up and I would slap every single butt cheek there. You think that they're embarrassed now?
They'd definitely be embarrassed after Mike's hand slapped them.
Just run down the line.
That would be interesting. I'd be willing to give that a shot.
I mean,
Just grab an ass.
There's certain things that like if I tripped and falled in front of
Falled.
if I
Words
tripped
are
If I
hard.
tripped and falled.
if I tripped and fell in front of a bunch of people and landed like on my face and broke my nose and it was like this huge tragic thing, I wouldn't be embarrassed. And there's people out there who's like, I would literally die if
Yeah,
I
that's-
fell. You know what I mean?
It's not embarrassing.
But like that wouldn't be embarrassing to me. I wouldn't give a shit if I fell and like. I guess I'm more of just like a private person, in the sense that if something happens that's excusable, fine. But if parts of my body are being shown, then that's
Okay,
probably
Speaking of tripping and falling, you guys know, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned on the podcast before, so the audience is now going to know that I watch wrestling sometimes, right? So
That's embarrassing.
a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a pay-per-view, and at the beginning of the pay-per-view, the announcers always come out and...
You know wrestling's fake, right?
Yes, that's not the point of the story.
Oh, okay.
One of the announcers was going out from the back to go up front to sit down to take his position for the announcing, and he decided to do a little two-step on his way out.
Yeah.
Face first, plants it, takes a couple of tumbles down the ramp, jumps up, laughing, his face bright red.
Yeah.
Would that be embarrassing? Because
No.
there's like thousands of people watching.
I could laugh that off easily.
Yeah.
I that sort of thing doesn't embarrass me.
He definitely laughed it off like a champ.
The number of people doesn't embarrass me. Okay, I'll 7th grade. We had a rule in our gym class that if you act up, you had to, every time that you were spoken to, 10 sit-ups, 5 push-ups, right? And of course I was being a total dick, and I had to do like, my gym teacher was like, well, that's like 200 sit-ups or whatever, and I was like, I can't.
How are you still so fat now?
I was
if
like,
you
I
went
ca-
through school like that.
I was like, I can't do that many. He's like, well, just do however many you can, because you were the one who acted up. And I got some girl to spot me, and she was like holding my feet down, and I started doing sit-ups. So I made it to like 20, and I farted. She was like holding my shoes, and I was just like 19. and like the look on her face was just like, really? And I was like, oh, that must have been like my shoes or something. And she was like, no, it wasn't. You
I'm
farted.
holding your
and then
shoes.
she's like, you farted. And then she walked away. She left, and I was like,
Guess I'm done.
okay. So I just sort of got up and gave up at that point. And luckily, she was a fucking champ, and she didn't say anything to anyone. Like, she didn't. You know what I mean? It was embarrassing in the moment.
She was embarrassed for you.
But she was really cool about it, I guess. You know, she walked away, but
He said it would have just been like worse if she did tell people. Right?
I mean, if I got back to class and everyone's like, "Did you fart on Ashley?" I'd be like, because I'm 12 and everything hurts. Well,
Manzy poopy
Imagine
pie.
like years down the road for some reason
You know-
she ends up watching
yeah,
this.
you know how many Ashleys I went to fucking school with?
Yeah, how many have you farted on, Mike? How many have you farted on?
Oh, one.
Yeah, Manzy Poopy Pie. How many have you
Only
farted
one?
on?
See, that doesn't bother me. I'd wear that on a fucking t-shirt.
Oh,
if
you're
I
gonna
had to.
have to because I'm not letting this go.
I don't care. I don't give a shit. Greg,
Greg.
Mom said you're supposed to call me Manzy Poopy Pie.
I should have left you in Moncton.
Yeah. Then I wouldn't have to deal with you now. I don't know. Lessons learned.
Lessons learned. Don't play hot potato with a real potato. Or if you do, bake it. Don't boil it.
Yeah, lessons learned. You guys are idiots and need to learn how to use pot holders.
Yeah. Lessons learned. Never cook in a kitchen with Alex or I. And if you're cooking potatoes, bake it till you make it.
Thanks for watching that episode of the Words Are Hard podcast, guys. Leave your most embarrassing moment in the comments below, or out someone else and put their most embarrassing moment in, because I think that'd be a lot of fun. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends, just so we can get a little bit more exposure. We're looking for that 1 million sub box there. For future videos, go ahead and click on one of the annotations in the middle of the screen. And to subscribe, there's another button that's there somewhere. It would be great if you could subscribe to us, because like I said, 1 million subs would be great. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.